Yo, what's up? It's your boy BigDonSkillz bringing you another video today. And man, oh man, I've been sitting on this one all day long thinking about this. And Nintendo once again has just played themselves and they've officially declared themselves as a gulag company. Official first gulag company cited by your boy Don himself. So if you haven't been keeping up over the past just few weeks in particular, but just over the years, there's been a lot of beef and misunderstanding between Nintendo and the Smash community, specifically the Melee community. Now, Melee is a 20-plus-year-old game. It's been out for a while, and the competitive scene for it is still flourishing, still going on. Just a few weeks ago, a new development of something called Slippy, which I'll click on right here, it enables net play. Originally, this game didn't have any sort of online functionality, but now you're able to play online. You're able to have, different sessions with friends, and the net code is very, very good. Nintendo came through, canceled a Big House tournament, which is one of the biggest Smash tournaments of the entire year. Came through and just took it off the chopping block out of nowhere. So this caused a lot of controversy, a lot of, free Melee, a lot of hashtags. A movement started because of this. But now we got to fast forward to December 5th. And Slimy, who is a tournament organizer over from the Splatoon community, had the following tweet. So we go. So the Splatoon community, in support of the Smash community, has 30% of the top teams in this weekend's Splatoon 2 North America Open, with team names in support of Melee and Smash. So what does at Nintendo America and Nintendo Versus do in response? They canceled their live stream for tomorrow's finals. So Nintendo literally just said, nah, bro, we're not dealing with that at all. And so I think another thing too, this company has been under a lot of people's radars for a long time, mainly because of Mario and the family-friendly vibes and, the happy games and things that they make. So a lot of people don't really look at Nintendo as a company that does shady practices or shady businesses. They kind of think of it as, like I said, the cheap family-friendly alternative. But like, if you actually sit and pay attention to this stuff, over the years and definitely recently, they've gotten significantly worse. And the quality of their games have dropped a lot too, and people don't want to bring that up as well. It's just crazy how there's a few things. I just don't understand why this is an ongoing drama. It kind of reminds me of this recent drama with the whole Pokimane Fedmeister thing. I know it's like sliding topics, right? Sliding genres, but it just kept going on. And there's at a certain point, and you're like, why? What is going on? Like, why does Nintendo hate this so much? What is the problem that Nintendo has with the competitive community? And I think it'd be a lot better if they actually just said, like, hey, we don't F with y'all. Like, we don't like this. This is what we don't like. This is what we don't like. This is what we like. This is what we don't like. But there's no sort of transparency or any sort of communication at all from Nintendo. And to specify, this is Nintendo of America, not necessarily Nintendo of Europe or Nintendo of Japan, but this is Nintendo of America. So this definitely affects that North America competitive scene, that far Western competitive scene. That's the focus of this. And they're just putting it on the chopping block, man. It's just a weird thing to me. And to this day, there's been no explanation from Nintendo on why they continue to try and cancel their own competitive scene. This brings up numbers. This brings up sales. People who could be playing this could be interested in eventually purchasing Ultimate. You have to think this is also their best-selling game. Like, when you think of Smash Bros. Ultimate, it's their best-selling game. So why would they not want to, jump into the competitive scene or host tournaments or things like that? Now, I know the Smash community has had some drama, especially recently, as well as just some, inconsistencies over the course of the years. But at the same time, man, as a company, you would think Nintendo's like, okay, yeah, we can host our own events, but these are our rules. We'll fund it. These are our rules. They can at least take that route, but they don't even really do that. And whenever they do have Nintendo sponsored events from Smash Brothers, it's always really bad. Like the rules are kind of garbage. And I remember one of the ones a long time ago, it was like an online tournament and there was so much lag that the announcer actually lied about what was going on the screen. Like he tried to not justify the fact that it was lag. It was weird, but this company, man, they continue to put out things that are lackluster and people accept it because the nostalgia of like Mario. Like Mario was such a powerful franchise. Like Zelda is such a powerful franchise that no matter what, they can almost do no wrong. Like I mentioned this in the last video that I talked about, which I'll have pop up here shortly, but think of like all these games they've done recently. Like if you think of the Mario 35 or the Mario Battle Royale that came out, the reason why Nintendo did that was because there was a web browser version that some random guy just created on his own. And it was like you could log into Chrome and just hop in some Mario Battle Royale. But they came through and just hit them with a cease and desist, disappeared. And then guess what? Now they have the Mario 35. But then here's the kicker. That's not even going to be around after March, I believe. So there's this thing recently where Nintendo games in March, they're going to just be, everything's disappearing. This Mario All-Stars collection that just came out, which is not a good deal at all. Once again, fueled by nostalgia. You have 3 classic games, paying $60 for them. Turns out they were run on emulators. When Nintendo, it was the last year, the year before, they pulled a cease and desist out on the ROM and emulator websites because they knew they were going to be coming out with their own Nintendo service that was integrated with this Nintendo Online. So they do this stuff, and then when they release it, it's garbage. The Nintendo Online that has Super Nintendo games and Nintendo games, they get like 3 games every like 4 or 5 months. And then one of them may be a game that we actually know, and then the other 2 are like these obscure games that not even the like biggest Nintendo fans played growing up. So maybe we'll get Donkey Kong Country like 1, and then we'll get some game called like Star Fighters. I don't even know if it's probably a real game. We'll get some Star Fighters or some like really like some actual like bad beat 'em up side scroller. And you know side scrollers were so good back then. So it's just everything that they've done is just really stupid, and their business practices, man, are just I don't know what they're even. I don't think there is practice. It's just straight up gulag, man. But I know I've kind of just waved all around on this, but you know, let me show you real quick with the free Melee. These are the teams right here, and these are like some of their names that they had, you know, going into this protest that they did. So they had free Melee 211, you had Meleetation, I don't know. Free Melee 227, Element Free Melee. So these teams actually changed their names, and that's what's thought to have made Nintendo say, you know what, we're not even gonna live stream it. There's been some like technical difficulties. They gave some really bad excuse. And of course, because it's Nintendo, people are gonna justify like, well, Nintendo has a right to do this. It's emulation. It's blah blah blah. This and that. They tried to do this with the Slippy that I mentioned earlier, the Slippy program. But the Slippy program doesn't require a hacked version of a game to run. It runs off of the emulator. So there's a lot of, you know, legal boundaries that I think people try and touch. And at the end of the day, I think most people speaking about the legal boundaries just don't know what they're talking about. So if you ever see stuff on that, man, ignore it. Do the research for yourself. Because I'm not the one to tell you, and most other people aren't equipped to tell you either. There's like 2 sides of the same coin when it comes to the legalities of all this stuff. But even if there was legalities of it, Nintendo could have came through a long time ago and completely canceled Melee. But the fact that they leave them like dangling on a string shows a lot. And then they don't support their competitive games anyways. They wanted a competitive game with Splatoon 2, or maybe even the first one, but their games are like, they don't put enough effort into their games, and their online is terrible. We already know about the online for Smash. I don't have to talk about that. their online is just so bad. It doesn't even come with an Ethernet cord. I have to buy an Ethernet cord to play the right way online. And even then, a lot of games still have just really, really bad net code. So honestly, man, the biggest problem is that it's just Nintendo being Nintendo. They have these archaic business practices, and they're literally willing to just like shoot their own communities in the foot while not caring, because once again, they're Nintendo. Like, they're that dude. So it's like, I can make enemies with the people that support me, but because there's millions and millions of other people who don't know about the drama that's going on, we don't really care, because those people probably low-key support us too. So it's just an endless loop of drama, man. I feel bad for the Melee community and even Splatoon, because in order to have things change in life, whether it's a competitive video game or whether it's real life issues, whether it's anything, whether it's racism out in the streets earlier in the year with Black Lives Matter, there's all sorts of things that people are willing to fight for. But like, the only way you're going to incite change is by actually going out there and doing something. If you don't go out there and do nothing or say anything about it, then like, you haven't contributed or done anything positive. And if anything, you've hurt, the same community. So, shout out to huge respect to the Splatoon community, which I actually just played today for the second time ever. I played some Splatoon on stream, and then also shout out to the Smash community, man, for just not letting this go, man. I think Nintendo's just digging themselves in the grave so hard that like, eventually they're gonna be forced to do something, man. I said this on stream, but I think that somebody higher up, like, remember this, man, clip this. We're not even on Twitch, but clip this. I think somebody higher up in the Nintendo hierarchy, like Nintendo of America's, I don't know whether it's a CEO or some business dude, this man got his feelings hurt by somebody in the Melee community back in like 2002, and he's so butthurt that he's willing to do anything he can to just mess with him, to F with him a little bit. I don't know. That's my little weird hot take. I literally think somebody got butthurt a long time ago, and they have some sort of grudge against the community. Because like I said, man, if Nintendo really didn't want Melee to exist, they could have canceled all this stuff. They could have ceased and desisted every single tournament, and Melee would literally have no competitive scene. But the fact that they don't do that means that they're taking advantage of the situation, and they're doing things to the best of their ability, or utilizing things to the best of their ability. But anyways, 13 minutes in, I don't want this to be any longer. I appreciate y'all for being here today. Once again, y'all have a good rest of y'all night. You already know what to do, man. If you like the video, give it an elbow drop, slap it real quick, tiger uppercut the like button, make it blue somehow. And I'll be back tomorrow with some more videos, man. I appreciate y'all for being here. Y'all are the realest. If y'all got something to say, drop it in the comments section. And y'all have a good rest of your night. And guess what, y'all? Peace out. Deuces.